I do things to do reviews. I do homework problems that you ask for, and we combine the lab together. And as you can see, you've got tons of material. And I don't expect you all to watch all of that material. I expect you to pick and choose what it is you need. Now, because a lot of them are the repeats of a different lecture from a different semester. But sometimes I use an example that makes more sense for some other folks. So that's why I go ahead and leave it for you. You also have access to my YouTube. But for the lab, for our lab, we're going to be in here. We're going to use this as our laboratories. This first laboratory, you do have an introduction to the first lab, and we'll go through that right now as well. But this first lab is what you're going to be doing is you're going to be finding 3 examples of simple harmonic motion. So when you open this up, basically what I'm looking for is for you to find 3 examples. Remember, a swing would be an example of simple harmonic motion. A bead on a hoop would be an example of simple harmonic motion. Something bouncing on a spring would be an example of simple harmonic motion. I want you to find 3 examples in your real world environment. Could be a fan in your dorm room, could be a couple of other things that you might stage. You could go ahead and set up a little pendulum, do that kind of thing. But I'm looking for 3 examples of simple harmonic motion. Then what I would like for you to do is post those 3 examples to the discussion board. And there is your discussion board. And I'd like these posted by the 14th, which is Saturday. So you're going to post to your discussion board. And then what I want you to do after that is I want you to do a 1-page, just a real simple 1-page laboratory memorandum on what you did. And basically what you're doing is, if you go over here, and I think if you look at the scoring, there's your template for your 1-page memorandum. I want you to take your example and I want you to see if you can come up with the position equation for your example. So for example, if I'm doing a circle, my amplitude is going to be the radius of the circle. I'm going to determine that omega based off of omega is equal to 2 pi times the frequency. I'm going to look at the period of my circle. I'm going to figure out my frequency and I'm going to type in my omega. So my unit circle, I can write that equation down. So I would like you to do that for all 3. Also remember that I want references. Okay, I want references. And for this experiment, your primary reference is the materials that I have provided on Blackboard. I am not being picky about the format for those references, but I do want you to make sure that you're referencing the material. All right. So based on, that's all I'm asking for the first lab. We want to find examples of simple harmonic motion. Then the second lab, and you can go ahead and get started on it, and it will be due, it's going to be due in the middle of next week. Okay, you're going to have it due on the 18th. So there's plenty of time to ask questions about that lab. What you're going to do is you've been given an experiment. So this is a simple harmonic motion experiment. It's a simple pendulum. You're going to use 3 different lengths of the simple pendulum in order to determine gravity. You're going to use the 3 different lengths of the simple pendulum in order to determine gravity. You don't have to limit yourself to 3 lengths. You can use more, but you want to be able to look at that. And in fact, what I am going to do, because I walked through this in another class, this is the simple pendulum and the derivation of the relationship of period to length. And then I'm going to copy content here because I walked through another class And I will give you the benefit of their class. If I put it there, there's two places I possibly could have put it. There it is right there. That's the one I want. That I actually walked through and showed you how to set up a table for this lab. So I want to make sure that you guys have the same benefit. So we'll add that to this. It's going to take a second, but we'll get there.